Hi everyone. Once upon a time, giants lived on Earth. It is mentioned in myths and legends of many nations, archaeological excavations, found artifacts, and much more. So many traces left behind by the giants leave no one in doubt that they really lived. But who they were and why they are no more, science does not yet have an exact answer. Ancient legends often tell of huge men and women, much bigger and taller than us, who fiercely fought or devoured people. They describe them as recluses living in mountains or forests. These giants are described not only in rich books, but also in prehistoric texts and religious writings. The history of ancient Greece contains records of Hercules, David, Goliath, and others. I wonder how accurate and true these legends are. The very first information about giants comes from the Sumerian civilization, which existed at the beginning of the Bronze Age. As can be seen from the carvings and statues, the Sumerians considered these giants to be their kings or gods who had incredible physical and intellectual abilities. According to Babylonian chronicles, these kings had detailed knowledge of the solar system. This brings us to the question of where these giants came from. The ancients called them gods, and they were believed to have arrived on arks or ships and survived the Great Flood. According to scientists, the first prehistoric humans could have been gigantic in size because before the Great Flood, atmospheric conditions on Earth were suitable for much larger humans with significantly longer lifespans. Scientists conducted a biosphere experiment reproducing the atmosphere and ozone layer around Earth before the Great Flood, and the second fish they experimented on grew to much larger sizes than usual. This theory justifies the hypothesis of the great growth of prehistoric creatures, because scientists did not come to an agreement when people first appeared. The version that they had a gigantic growth in prehistoric times has the right to life. In addition to the mention of giants in the Bible, the works of the Jewish historian Joseph deserve special attention. Point 3 of his books mention the existence of a race of giants. Apart from the Bible, these works are perhaps the most convincing argument for their existence. All of these tell the stories of real people facing giants. I end the passage about the Israelites moving into their camp at Hebron. He mentions that they encountered the inhabitants of the land, including a race of giants who had bodies so large and faces so different from other people that they caused fear and dread just by appearance. Today, archaeologists create versions and conjectures about the origin of huge megalithic ruins around the world. Why did people need to build such large spaces? How did they move stones weighing several hundred tons? The answer is simple. Either they had technologies that we don't know about, or they were so big and powerful that building such monumental buildings was not difficult for them. Manuscripts that talk about giants have not reached us, or perhaps they were simply destroyed or hidden. However, there remained other sources that could not be disguised, destroyed, or placed on the shelf under the heading of top secret. These sources are carvings, bas-reliefs, high reliefs, and sculptures. And there are still old ruins, epics, and legends. Different nations have their own, but they all contain references to giants. Take a look, for example, at the statues that are in the Vilnius Cathedral. To the giants with books in their hands. Look who is lying next to them. A pygmy lion and a cow. Is it an allegory or a lack of material for sculpting? Also look at this photo. On it, a man is like a child at the feet of a giant. That person is an angel of protection. Now look at this book. Who and why created such gigantic books? How to carry such books and where to store them for the common man. The architecture also raises many questions. Why make a huge gate? Check out this huge balcony railing. Why is it so big? Perhaps to make an ordinary person feel small. And here the knockers are so high that no one can reach them. However, in addition, there are a large number of finds or artifacts that are intended for people of huge stature. For example, furniture, mirrors, rings, and weapons. In Peru, there is a stone mystery called Sacsayhuaman. Ruins of an Inca citadel. Its huge stones, weighing up to 200 tons each, used for construction, were cut, installed and fitted together with such precision that the whole thing looks like giant stone pugs. It is not difficult to imagine that a race of super-strong giants must have been behind the construction of this work. And now, thousands of years later, modern thinkers and scientists cannot give a definitive answer to the question of how ancient man was able to build some of the most amazing megalithic monuments around the world. There are many reports of archaeologists finding large bones, weapons, or other artifacts that only a giant could have used. Stonehenge is believed to have been built by giants because the stones are too large and heavy for normal-sized people to move and manipulate without the help of special machinery. Similar examples exist in many cultures in terms of structures that could not be built without a crane or other machinery that ancient people did not have. These archaeological arguments should be viewed with skepticism. We may not know how Stonehenge was built, but our lack of knowledge does not automatically prove that giants did it. In 1891, workers digging for the foundation of a new building in Arizona came across a huge stone coffin. Inside, a skeleton about 3 meters high was discovered, which had almost turned to dust. Then in 1883, soldiers digging holes in California came across the remains of a 3.5-meter giant with a double row of teeth in the lower and upper jaw. Giant bones have also been found in other countries. In Romania, reports of giant human remains, nearly 5 meters tall, discovered only in the 1970s, received a great response. Years of the last century. The length of the bones themselves reached 2 meters. These are just a few examples of giant tracks discovered by researchers. But they turned out to be so old that most of them turned to dust when they were retrieved from burial sites. Mummified remains dating back thousands of years have also been discovered. Its height varied from 2 to 4 meters. Most of these excavations were carried out in the 19th century. In addition, according to researcher Stephen Quayle, underground tunnel dwellings with giant skeletons have been found throughout South America, the Middle East, and the American Northwest and Australia. Anthropologists discovered a tooth that belonged to a man of enormous height, about 3.5 meters and weighing about 400 kilos. Fossilized human footprints of enormous size have also been found there. Scientists named the race of giants Meganthropus. The authenticity of this photo is questionable, but who knows, maybe the giants that once existed looked something like this. They may have looked like giants in this photo, but scientists and historians have no scientifically proven facts to confirm their existence. Some artifacts of giant size are displayed in museums, but most of them, especially the largest ones, are myths, except for eyewitness accounts that cannot be verified. Many researchers explain the lack of conclusive evidence with stories of government cover-ups, flash floods, or other convenient conspiracy theories. The theory surrounding the extinct race of giants points to the idea that the bones of the skeletons always mysteriously disappeared once the official organizations got involved. The question remains whether giants really existed on Earth. And if so, where did they go? They either went the same way as the dinosaurs, became extinct due to atmospheric conditions, or fought fierce battles and killed each other, scientists say. Or they began to thirst for help and wealth, like the inhabitants of other ancient civilizations that destroyed themselves. Be that as it may, the question of the existence of giants remains open. It is shrouded in many secrets and mysteries. We can only guess whether there were people before us who were different in height, size, and strength from us. Or are these all beautiful legends and inventions of writers? Maybe one day scientists will make a sensational discovery that will confirm the existence of giants, or completely disprove this theory. For now, we can only guess. And that's all for today. Write in the comments if you believe in the existence of giants. Like, subscribe to the channel, and see you again soon.